Despite leaving my collection behind when making the move to the big CO, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop collecting. The collection left behind will be retrieved at a later date, but in the meantime, there are still figures coming out that I want to get my hands on. Now, of course, as you can see here, the latest haul was Masters of the Universe, their Origins line, where they basically take their old classic little chonker figures and they're re-releasing them with some updates to the sculpts and the articulation. Now, this is far from the base set. We have a couple of different sets here. So first off, this He-Man here that I got actually on clearance at a Target, because this one was quite the peg warmer for a while. This He-Man here is based on the original concept art of He-Man, which I think is absolutely fascinating. I mean, you can see like the little differences here. He's got, you know, a helmet on both heads. He comes with an interchangeable head because they considered making him a brunette at some point. And yeah, just some little changes to the costume and all of that. And then these three are from the cartoon collection, where they adapted the design of the edgy 2000s reboot. We'll take a look at these a little closer, but this is kind of the initial Masters of the Universe haul that is kickstarting the continuation, season 2 of my Masters of the Universe collecting. So starting with a closer look at this original box art He-Man, the packaging is so cool because it's actually decorated in all of those crazy sketches from the original concept art. And even on the back, you get like OG concept art Skeletor with like the most brutal fucking like bull skull kind of helmet thing going on, which is a really neat idea. But I'm more concerned with who the babe is here on the back. She's vampire chicks are always great, and I mean them things are thingin', you know, respectfully speaking. And then we got this other guy here who I guess I'm assuming that's gonna be Man-E Faces, how he had the little thing on top of his head that you could click and make the faces spin. But yeah, you have so many neat pieces of art here of both blonde and brunette He-Man, with, you know, with horns, without horns, with the spike on top and without. You know, there's one of him like riding a tank here in the corner. You know, him like lifting stuff. Just really cool, old school, like honestly like comic book looking art. Like I would definitely read a comic book that looked like this, because this is just cool. And then especially we have like the one full color hero shot here on the side, which is great. The design of this figure, absolutely incredible. The concept, absolutely incredible. The execution, fuck. So I mean, it's not a bad figure. It's pretty on par with the rest of the Masters of the Universe origin figures. The articulation is all the same. You've got the head on a ball joint, single jointed elbows and knees, which for figures that are this basic does not bother me at all. I love the simplicity of these figures because it's like looking at like N64 graphics. You just want to smack them together and have fun and not really think too hard about the posing and all this kind of stuff. That being said, there are some issues with this guy's, I guess you could call it the sculpt, that make things a little difficult for him. The main issue that I have here with this figure are the cuffs. the cuffs that extend up over his hand, they don't let his wrists rotate. And so you are very, very limited with how you can position his shield, because then it just pops right out of his hand. As soon as you try to rotate it, it just kind of comes out of his fingers, and you get just the tiny bit of rotation. And so you not a lot of flexibility with angling the shield. Now, for if you're just playing with them, it's not so much of a problem, but if you're trying to pose and photograph them, that can become an issue. Now, of course, you can always just swap the arms up, because these guys are built to be pretty modular, and that is even true to the original designs. The original toys were like that. But, you know, for a figure that was, I think at full price, this guy was like $30 for the concept art version. Oh man, you know, nah, you got to give me more than that for $30. You got to give me more thought through engineering for $30. And so that's really kind of where this figure kind of dies for me. Now, you know, just for displaying or just for rough playing, you know, it's fine, but it's. I tried playing with it, and the shield kept falling out of his hand, and that's a problem in and of its own. But I mean, other than that, everything about this figure is super cool. I love seeing like just this kind of alternate, old-fashioned version of He-Man's armor, especially He-Man with a helmet. You know, he's always had the beautiful blonde hair flowing freely, and so to see him with, you know, the traditional horned Viking helmet, or, you know, barbarian helmet, and then this kind of skull cap here. Really, really cool to see. And then the axe. That is an awesome design. Like, I'm glad it's not just like a basic, you know, double-headed axe. It's they got a little bit of stuff going in there. They got, you know, the two holes here, and then the different rings on the top and the handle here. And yeah, it's good attention to detail just on the decorations of everything, not so much on the physics of how this figure would work. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, the 2003 cartoon He-Man is awesome. This thing kicks so much ass. The cuffs don't extend over the hand, so he has freedom to articulate his hand however the hell he wants. But a great little addition that I don't think I've seen any other Masters of the Universe figure do is that his sword hand, the articulation, instead of going left to right like that, goes up and down, so he can point his sword straight ahead, and that, you know, that allows for the straight up, you know, I have the power pose that, I mean, you kind of have to be able to do with a He-Man figure. Now, it's, you know, we've got all the armor. He's much leaner than we're used to seeing He-Man as part of, you know, the 2000s reboot. And yeah, he's actually, let me see here. He is a little bit taller. He's a baller compared to the concept art He-Man, and I imagine he's gonna be taller than the standard Origins He-Man. It almost looks like it's at a different scale, and so if that kind of thing bothers you when pairing your figures up, then that may be a deal breaker for you. I have yet to pose him with my other figures, since those are all in California right now. So that will remain to be seen. Once I get those, I'll do a little update posing him with those figures. But I mean, like, it's, there's a very clear winner here. And what I've decided to do is essentially to make this my main He-Man, and to give him the accessories of the concept art He-Man so that he can be fully armed and ready to go. Because even though He-Man usually comes with the sword, the axe, and the shield, this He-Man only came with the sword. And so with that, I'm able to have kind of this complete go-to He-Man, so that when I'm playing and stuff, I have the complete package right here. Now, the articulation, other than the wrist, is all the same, but there's just something about this figure and the other 2003 animated series figures that I feel like I can just get them in more dynamic poses. And you'll see, the photos on the screen right now. I mean, maybe there's something I'm missing. There's like some kind of technique or something that I'm missing with like the older style figures. With these 2003 ones, really kick a lot of ass for posing and for photography. So next up, we've got the brother Triclops here. Again, this one's from the 2003 cartoon, so he's a little taller, a little leaner. He's got, the rotating eyes for his different vision modes. He's got one sword, nowhere to sheath it, unfortunately, and that's kind of that's a little bit of a bummer. It was always neat that they would include built-in sheaths for the weapons, even if it was just like a little plastic loop. And so that I'm really missing that on this figure. That would have been nice to have. But I mean, everything else about this figure is great. The sculpt, the armor, again, the posability. I feel like I can get these guys into such cool poses. And they keep their balance. They fucking stand. That was always the hardest part for me as a kid, to get figures to keep their balance. But even then, the homies have peg holes at the bottom so that you can really get them into some creative poses and keep them standing up. And okay, so I'm actually about to eat my own words. Triclops can point his sword forward and up at the sky. I would be careful. The plastic is soft enough for him to point mostly straight up, but you do see it strain here where it connects to the chest piece, where, like, how plastic kind of starts to turn white when it gets stretched. Yeah, like you see that there. But there you go. He can also point the sword forward, which opens up a lot more posing possibility for this. And that is just awesome to see. I'm really excited to get more of these. But I think right now they're focusing on the figures from the new movie coming out. And I do want to check those out and see how those are. Now, Triclops is a cool guy. He's one of the oldest characters from the toy line. I think one of the first villains to appear, and he's always been super loyal to Skeletor. Like, he's Skeletor's ride or die right here, Triclops. And so he's always been that a very dangerous element in the Masters of the Universe story. It's because, I mean, even like Evil Lynn will betray Skeletor if she needs to, but not this guy. This guy, till the fucking wheels fall off. And on the other side of that, we have Stratos. Now, this dude, he comes from like a race of like bird people. Now, much like Triclops, he was one of the earliest characters introduced in the comics, but this guy was on He-Man's side, and, fiercely loyal, ride or die. Unfortunately for him, he kind of fell by the wayside as the comics and the toy line went on, whereas Triclops really stayed sort of front and center as one of Skeletor's most dangerous minions. Now, this guy, he was kind of like a stoic sort of bird dude. He'd fly around. I'm pretty sure he could shoot like rockets and shit from his jetpack. But he had like the jets on the pack and on his feet. And he can fly around and do all sorts of cool shit. And yeah, same articulation as the other two. I want to say that like they basically have all of the same molds. Yeah, the arms look basically the same. The chests seem a little different. Maybe not. I think I'm just seeing different parts of the chest as exposed by the armor, which is actually kind of a genius way to make the figures look very different. Yeah, it looks like all of the pieces are the same. So, same chest sculpt, same arms, different heads, obviously, different feet, because the homeboy here is barefoot for you enthusiasts out there. And then He-Man here has the sort of traditional wrappings. And they always put such great paint jobs on these figures too, because he's got like the beautiful like candy apple red on his belt. It's a shiny paint as opposed to like the matte paint on the blue parts. And it's got like the S embossed on there. And yeah, shiny paint on like the shoulder pads and all that. Just a lot. They work so well with contrast. They do contrast really well. And it almost looks out of place to have the shin pads not match the armor until you realize that the shin pads with the rockets attached match the jetpack and the handles of the homeboy's wings. So just the color coordination on these is just fantastic, and I just love the way that these look. They look like toys that that would entice a kid sitting on the shelf, sitting in their packaging, to be like, oh shit, yeah, like I want to play with that. All the bright colors and the excellent design coordination, because even with the articulation kind of being what it is, this is a great looking figure. All of these figures, they all look fantastic, and I am very excited to continue expanding this collection, especially because like I don't know if I would call it a grail, but I really want to work up to getting Castle Grayskull. The thing is that they came out with the new Castle Grayskull kind of a while ago, so I missed my window to buy it at retail. So I'm going to need to find it from like some shitbag scalper, or hope that I can find someone selling it for a good deal. I've had luck with that before. So it's, fingers crossed. I do want to get that eventually. So thank you all for watching. This is the beginning of a great expansion to my collection, and I can't wait to share what comes next with you guys. This was Gummy Shark Guy. You all be excellent to each other.